Okay, so today we are going to start from our learning objective number 4. Let me get there. So Jindan, do you still remember what is the difference between period cost and the product cost? This one?
Product cost is all the costs to allocate all the costs that required to make the product.
Yes, it's product related directly. Yes.
The cost
Salary. Yes. Salary of the supervisor of the factory. Oh, okay. Let's go there. This one, yeah. Page up. There. This is product cost. So where is the definition for period cost? Let me see. Forward or backward? Backward. No. Here. These two are period cost. Selling cost and administrative cost. They are period cost. And here, I think we don't put on the definition for period cost here. Here, period cost include all selling and administrative costs. Yeah. Oh, good, you still remember. Yes, so today we are going to start from here. Okay, that's learning objective number 4. Here you have to know, understand the cost classifications used to predict cost behavior. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, what is cost driver? What is cost driver? Cost driver. Cost behavior. Yeah, but you can. So what is cost driver? That's different. Cost driver and the cost behavior are different. Yeah. Cost drivers, do you still remember? Cost driver. Yes. That is the something that trigger the cost to change, to increase or reduce. Like direct labor, the hours, the direct labor is working is the cost driver, right? Because the more you work, the more you will get paid. Yeah, so the working hours are the cost driver for direct labor. Yeah, that is cost driver. Yes. Okay, then what is cost behavior? There. So what is cost behavior? Refers to. So you can read that. Refers to how a cost will react to. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Okay. So in this part, we are going to talk about variable cost, fixed cost, and mixed cost. Okay. Okay, so let's start from a variable cost. A cost that varies in total in direct proportion to changes in the level of activity. So that cost will vary in direct proportion. Okay, and a variable cost per unit is constant. So is that statement correct? No, why not? A variable cost per unit, per unit, not a total The total variable cost will change in proportion to the changes in the level of activities, right? Yes, but the variable cost per unit is constant. It's always the same because for direct labor, you pay 10 hours, $10 per hour, right? So per unit, it's the same. That's $10 for an hour, right? $10 for an hour of direct labor. And if he or she is working for 2 hours, then you have to pay her or him $20. So the total variable costs are changing, but the unit cost is the same. Yeah, so a variable cost per unit is constant. That's correct. Okay, that's correct. Yeah. So get it, Jundan? Yes, okay. Okay, and a cost driver here comes cost driver. A cost driver is a measure of what causes the incurrence of a variable cost. So like we just mentioned the direct labor, that's direct labor hours, that is a cost driver. And machine hours are also cost drivers, or units produced or miles driven if you are driving a car. So the cost driver is the miles you drive. Okay, so that is cost driver. So do you know the difference between cost driver and cost behavior? Okay, yeah. Peggy? You just say the keyword. Only the keyword. Cost driver. Is a major. Yeah, okay. So for direct labor, what is direct labor's cost driver? Direct labor is, yes, so labor hours. And what is direct materials? The cost driver for direct material is how many items you use. Yeah, good. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, so cost driver and cost behavior. So she says cost driver, so you say cost behavior.
What change or what is the reaction from the variable cost that driven by this cost driver? Is it correct?
Like a variable. So the cost will change depends on how much item you use. That is a variable cost.
What cost?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So next. Okay. Here comes fixed cost. A cost that remains constant. Okay. Total fixed cost will remain constant in total, regardless of changes in the level of the activity. So no matter how much you produce or how much you use, the fixed cost is the same. Okay, and if expressed on a per unit basis, the average fixed cost per unit varies inversely with changes in activity. So that's just opposite to the variable cost, right? Okay, so let's see the exhibit 1-3. See, so can you see what is the line for the variable cost and what is the line for fixed cost? The flat line, so the fixed cost is which one? The flat one, right? Always remain the same. So that is fixed cost, right? So what does that say? Is that fixed cost remain constant in total dollar amount through wide ranges of activity. So from 0 to 1,000 items remain the same. But for variable cost, it will change with the production or with the item you use increase. Okay, so
Yeah, due to the proportion.
Yeah, in proportion, yeah. So a variable cost increases in total in proportion to activity. Okay, so that's for the right-hand side. The flat one is for fixed cost. The left-hand side is for the variable cost. Okay. So that is cost behavior. Okay, cost behavior. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and here are the types of fixed cost. There are two different kinds of fixed costs. One is committed and the other one is discretionary. Okay, for the committed fixed cost, it's long-term and cannot be significantly reduced in the short run. For example, the investment in facilities and equipment is for long-term, or you cannot change. Once you invest, you cannot change. You are planning to build a building. You cannot say no next month. Right? So it's a long-term committed expenses. Okay. The other one, the discretionary fixed cost, that can be altered in the short term by a current managerial decision like advertisement. So you pay for the advertisement fee this month, and at the end of the month, you think that's useless. So you decide you will stop it for next month. Yeah, so for the investment and for the advertisement fee, they are all fixed cost, but one is committed and the other one is discretionary. Okay, so the difference between one is for long term and the other one is for short term, and you can change anytime. And then the other one for the long term, you cannot change. Okay, yeah. Okay, and when we are talking about the fixed cost or variable cost, we have to talk about the relevant range. Okay, because they are relevant only within a range. Because for fixed costs like electricity or like the utility cost, electricity or water usage, we have a basic usage, right? If your usage is less than the basis, then you pay a fixed amount. But once your usage is over that limit, then you pay for how much more you use. Yeah. So that's relevant. So for you have to see the fixed cost, the line only flat here, but next month maybe we're getting higher. So the relevant range is this range. Outside this range, that's not relevant. Okay. Let's take an example. Here is an example. Assume office space is available at a rental rate of 30,000 per year in increments of 1,000 square feet. So 1,000 square feet for $30,000 per year. So if you rent half of, you just use half of it, you have to pay 30,000. You don't use it, you have to pay 30,000. But if you use all the space, then you still pay 30,000 for that space. Okay, what happens if I need more? Then you have to pay more, right? Here, so if your usage is less than 1,000 square meters, then you pay for 30,000. But if you want to increase the space you use, then you have to pay another 30,000. So this flat line is called the relevant range. On the cost, the fixed cost is only relevant within the range. So we call it relevant range. Okay. Yeah. Okay, what does that say? The relevant range of activity for fixed cost is the range of activity over which the graph of the cost is flat. So the keyword is the flat. Okay. Okay, so okay, I want you to take a look at this summary. Just don't get mixed up. So it's talking about the behavior of cost within the relevant range, and you can see the variable cost per unit 1 It says variable cost per unit remains constant, as we said a few PPTs ago, right? The variable cost per unit remain constant. That's correct, right? Yes, okay. And the fixed cost per unit decreases as the activity level rises and increases as the activity level falls. Is that correct? So fixed cost per unit will change. Fixed cost per unit will change, right? Yes. Fixed cost per unit will change, but variable cost per unit remain constant. Okay, so do this one. Which of the following costs would be variable with respect to the number of ice cream cones sold at a Baskin and Robbins? There may be more than one answer. Okay. A and B, variable cost? A and B? Are you sure? Wait. Variable, not fixed, okay? Variable, okay? So, okay, so which one? So is A variable? The cost of lighting the store, the cost of lighting is fixed, right? No matter you have customers or not, you have to pay for the electricity, so that's fixed. Okay, and B, the wages of the store manager, same concept. If you don't sell anything, you still have to pay for his salary. Yeah, so that's fixed. How about C? The cost of ice cream is variable. Maybe that's direct material because you are selling ice creams, right? You are selling ice creams. So ice cream is your direct material. Yeah. So if I buy one scoop of ice cream, I can buy one scoop, two scoop, right? And if I buy one scoop, you only incur one scoop of cost. Right? Right? Think about the ice cream. I am the customer. I go to your store to buy a scoop of ice cream. So what is your cost for selling me the scoop of ice cream? What's your cost? Only one scoop, right? So that's variable. If I buy two scoops, you incur two scoops of cost, right? Yes, so that is variable.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, how about the D, the cost of napkins for customers? That's variable, right? Because each cost only for ice cream cone, you put one napkin over the cone, right? Yeah, so that's variable. Yes, but it's direct or indirect. Direct or indirect. That is a product cost, right? Yes, but it's a direct product cost or indirect product cost. Direct or indirect?
Indirect is direct is the cost of the cost related to the product.
Direct related. All product cost can be direct or indirect. Product cost can be indirect or direct, yes, because we have direct material, direct labor, and factory overhead, like the salary of the store manager, right? direct or indirect? Peggy, direct or indirect? Direct.
I think the
Napkin, yeah.
for customer.
For customer, it's direct or indirect. First one or second one? First.
One ice cream with one.
And think about the cost and benefit. Think about the glue or lubricant 那些胶水或者是粘着剂 Yeah, so that's product directly related to the product, but it's insignificant, right? And it's hard to measure. But for napkin, sometimes it's hard to measure. Yeah. Basically, one customer need one napkin, right? Yeah, but the cost for the napkin is it's not significant. So if you think that's a direct variable cost, you have to know the quantities. Yeah, specify the quantities. Yeah, so it's not. So I mentioned the cost and benefit. You can say that's direct or indirect. Both are reasonable. But when you are thinking about the cost benefit, I think you will say that it's indirect. Although you know every customer will take one napkin. Yeah. But because that's insignificant, unless you use the very expensive one, right? If your napkin is a special napkin and it's very expensive, yeah, so that's direct. But if you use common, yeah, and it's insignificant, so you will say that it's indirect, that's okay. Okay, yeah, okay, so sometimes the line is not that clear. There are some gray area, okay, yeah. Okay, so the answer is C and D. Yes, okay, so you can take a 5 minutes break.